Imran Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Can you open your presentation? So, Dr. Imran Ahmad from Algae and Biomass Research Laboratory, Malaysia, Japan International Institute of Technology, University Technology, Malaysia. And
can you please let me know whether my slide is visible or not?
Yeah, that's very good.
Okay. And you can hear me clearly?
Very good, yeah. From my side, yes.
Okay.
So Dr. talk about microalgae, palm oil effluent, treatment, and biofuel production. A biotechnological approach towards sustainability and environmental protection.
Good day to all. Actually, I take compliment from Professor Usman as taking my name, Dr. Imran. Inshallah, by next year, I am planning to submit my PhD. Right now, I am in my 4th semester of PhD, and we are working actually on the bioremediation aspects of microalgae. So we are working on various types of wastewaters actually. So one of them is POM, like that is the palm oil milk.
So inshallah, take it a good wish.
Yeah, thank you very much. For the outline of the presentation, introduction followed by some of the recent news and actions which are related to palm oil mill effluent pollution. Then how the concept of microalgal treatment was envisioned and implemented. Then the composition of POM, various operations going on in palm oil mill, then the conventional treatment processes. There are the problems associated with them. Then microalgal uptake of nutrients, which is being experimented from last couple of years, and the biomass and lipid productivity of different microalgal species, is sketch showing the microalgal treatment of POM, then the cultivation of microalgae in wastewater, which will be contributing towards the circular bioeconomy concept. So recent news from the 12th Malaysian Plan, take-home messages and references. So to begin with the introduction, palm oil mill effluent is the wastewater generated from the production of palm oil. So the approximate calculations gives us the values. It's about 6 tons of what you single ton of crude palm oil, and 50% of which is converted into wastewater through different operations going on in the palm oil mill. POM is very hazardous due to the high level of pollutants like BOD, COD, and various other contaminants. Extensive treatment is required before the disposal, otherwise it may cause nuisance, especially to the water bodies, which we are seeing and noticing in Malaysia also. The current practice uses the anaerobic and aerobic ponding systems generally, which are situated at the site itself, but they are having some disadvantages like large area requirements and also long hydraulic retention times and also greenhouse gas emissions. This envisioned the concept of the treatment using microalgae. So we can see some of the recent news and actions. So this is from the Star. So on 15th June, Monday, the Malaysian Palm Oil Board orders the palm oil in Kluang to halt its operation. So it was shuttered, it was closed, and it has been ordered that it has to be closed immediately because it was continuously polluting a river being tested in the province of Johor. Secondly, the oil palm mill ordered to again halt its operations for allegedly polluting Sungai Bukin River. So this was given by the Department of Environment, DOE, because this oil palm mill in Ulu Keratong was polluting the river Sungai Bukin. So to begin with some of the introduction of microalgae. So the salient features and followed by the advantages. So it has versatile metabolism because it can be grown in an autotrophic mode, in mixotrophic mode, in heterotrophic mode, and also it can tolerate adverse environments in terms of pH, temperature, salinity. So that give us an edge over other plants. So it's having higher growth rate, even much higher than the terrestrial plants, higher CO2 resilience and absorption. It can work for the sequestration of carbon dioxide. Then potential for the nutrient uptake, which we'll be noticing here in the case of POM. Larger cell size and filamentous morphology, then high content product, because we will obtain enriched biomass after the cultivation of microalgae with different wastewaters also. So the composition of POM can be seen here. In terms of BOD and COD especially, we can see the values. The discharge standards suggest that the maximum value should be 100 and 400, and the average or the range of the values we can see here in the table is quite high, and that's why they are creating much problem for the water bodies. So these are the operations going on in palm oil mill, which are generating POM. Like it's coming from the digestion unit. If we go directly to that, then the nut cracking operation, hydrocyclone, then we obtain the POM. Initially from the sterilization of fresh fruit bunches. After the sterilizer condensate, we obtain POM. Similarly, after the clarification unit also, we obtain POM. So these are the various operations which are contributing towards the discharge of POM. So here we can see a previous researcher who worked on the POM treatment using the physical chemical processes. So the resultant was that they are not energy intensive, neither they were economically viable, because the cost was very high in the treatment, because it includes the cost of various chemicals, coagulants, and also because they were using ultrafiltration technique and reverse osmosis technique. They obtained, you can say, they obtained very good quality of the effluent. Even they use the effluent for the drinking purpose at the places where we have the scarcity of water. But the capex and opex of the plant was considerably high. That's why the researchers were shifted towards finding a economic way of treating as a tertiary, you can say, treatment process. So in this slide, we can see the microalgal uptake of the nutrients during the cultivation of POM. So microalgal species, we can see in the first column, various species. Some of the species are freshwater species, and some of them are marine water species. They are cultivated with POM. So we obtain the nutrients reduction. When we are talking about the nutrients, it means that it's the nutrient uptake of the nitrogen or the phosphate. So we can see the uptake, it's 68% and also 94%. It's quite high. At the same time, we have the biomass productivity within a week or 10 days. So in this slide, we can see the biomass and lipid productivity of different microalgal species grown with POM. So here we can see in some of the cases we used by volume 60% of POM. Then we supplemented with the synthetic nutrients. Sometimes we used in some of the studies 30% POM by volume. So we added different other synthetic components to optimize the value of the nutrients. Then this is the maximum biomass concentration obtained and the biomass productivity. It's quite considerable when we are talking about the cultivation of microalgae. Then the lipid content, which is the target when we are going for the biofuel production or the production of biodiesel and bioethanol. So this is the sketch showing POM treatment using microalgae. So from the initial generation source, so the palm plantation, palm oil mill, then we can see we obtain the generated POM. So we send it for the pre-treatment and then to the anaerobic digestion. So with the help of anaerobic digestion, we obtain the biomethane, also the fertilizer, which can be used for agricultural purposes. Otherwise, the digestate we use for the microalgal cultivation with POM using either the open systems, open ponding or raceway ponding, or the closed photobioreactors that are the vertical reactors or the means the cylindrical one. So then we can see we obtain the microalgal biomass, and then it is harvested using different techniques. After the harvesting, we obtain the microalgal lipids using the extraction techniques. So after the lipids are obtained, we go for transesterification process to obtain the biodiesel. And then after obtaining the residual biomass, so we have two routes. The first route is, again, it is sent back to the pre-treatment unit for the anaerobic digestion, and another one is sent for the hydrolysis fermentation to obtain the bioethanol. So if we are working efficiently, so we can obtain biomethane, biodiesel, and bioethanol. Biodiesel and bioethanol are being worked upon extensively these days, but the millers are already up to a stage where they are generating the biomethane, which is sufficient to supply the energy for their own mills. So this is the concept which we are working these days to support the circular economy, because what we are proposing that when as a tertiary treatment, we are using the POM, the pre-ejected POM to cultivate the microalgae. So it will be treating the wastewater or treating the effluent. At the same time, we will obtaining the biomass, that is the enriched biomass, which can be further processed and extracted to obtain different useful and myriad products. So this is the concept of circular bioeconomy. So this is very recent news. I took it from this day before yesterday, 20th September. For the 12th Malaysian plan, it is being proposed that by 2025, Malaysia will be going for beet hetty palm. Means it will be composing 30% of the palm methyl esters and blended with 70% of the petroleum diesel. So that's the target. And nowadays they are working on B7 and B10. Means 7% and 10% will be the palm oil methyl ester, and the 85, 90, and 92% will be the conventional diesel. They have to work a lot because the automobile engineers know that there is a problem of clogging in the engine because of the formation of a sludge-like substance when these are blended. So a lot more research is required in this field also. But this is a good news because we started with a bad news regarding the pollution of the rivers. So this is a good news. So some take-home messages. POM is always regarded as highly polluting wastewater generated from palm oil mills, but the reutilization of POM to generate renewable energies in commercial scale has a great potential, especially when coupled with wastewater treatment process, as I discussed it in the previous slide regarding the circular bioeconomy concept. Global interest in culturing microalgae for biodiesel and bioethanol production is increasing, and for that POM has emerged as a good nutrient source for this purpose. This was because POM contains high amount of nitrate and orthophosphate, which is required by microalgae for its growth. So in conclusion part, it is an undeniable fact that POM has its own potential to produce various renewable energies. Such strategies are in line with the current zero waste sustainability concept, which will be helpful for the protection of environment. So these are the references. So thank you very much. So this picture is taken from the palm oil board, Malaysian palm oil board, because they have recently developed palm kernel shell activated carbon for the wastewater treatment at the site. Thank you very much for your listening.
Thank you very much for the good presentation. And we can take one or two questions. Okay, so no questions, then we are going on time. And thank you very much for this presentation. I think very interesting subject.
Thank you very much, Professor Usman.